Hi, guys. Just waiting for everybody to join us. If you have any questions, you can type your questions in either the Q and A function or the chat function. Welcome, guys. Okay, just giving a moment for everybody to log on, and then we can start. While we're waiting, get ready all those questions you had about your formative ones and your assessments or anything else that you might have been wondering about. Okay. So to start off, we're going to be talking about the formative one submissions, and I'm going to give you some information that might already answer some of your questions. So firstly, the formative assessments are due from this Saturday, 26 March to the 1st of April at 23:59 on our learner management system, CoLcampus. Please note that CoLcampus will lock on the 1st of April at 23:59, and we will not be able to accept any late submissions, nor will we be able to mark it. So you only have time from the 26th of March to the 1st of April, 23:59 to submit your assignment. You are also not allowed to email your assignment. You are only allowed to submit it on CoLcampus. The only time there is an exception to this is if the assessment brief said you are either writing a test on campus, which is what is happening for one of the subjects called finance and media, or if you are completing a subject such as radio 2 or 3 or sound engineering, where the file sizes are too big to submit on CoLcampus. And if you struggle, then you can WeTransfer it. But that instructions is on the assessment brief. You have to try to submit before 5 o'clock on 1 April. The reason why I say that is, as we know, when it comes, the closer it comes to the closing time for CoLcampus, the internet starts to become sluggish and the site starts to become sluggish. And where perhaps earlier in the week, it would have only have taken you 5 minutes to upload your assignment, you'll see that it might take you even 40 to an hour to submit your assignment. Marcus, I'll give you an opportunity when we finish to ask a question, okay? So please make sure that you submit earlier rather than later, because no subs will be granted for non-submissions of assessments, or if you could not submit because you're saying you struggled to submit, the internet wasn't working, there was no electricity, that will not be accepted. Remember, the campus facilities are available. You can make use of it. We have a computer lab and we have library resources where you can use those computers to submit your assessments. We have generators, so you will have uninterrupted power supply as well as the internet. So I'm sure most of you are familiar at this stage of how to log onto CoLcampus, but if you are not, colcampus.com, your login is the number 8 underscore and then your full student number, as we can see there on the left hand of the screen. And then the password is your ID or your passport number if you are a foreign student. And that is for CoLcampus. Now, I don't know how many of you are aware that as a Boston student, you are given access to the Microsoft Office package. Now, if you want to access the Microsoft Office package, you can go to the website address on the right hand of the screen there, login.microsoftonline.com/. Your login is your student number at myboston.co.za. So for example, you see that would be your student number at myboston.co.za. Once again, your password is also your ID number or your password. Oh, sorry, either your ID number or your passport number as you use to log into Cole Campus. But this time you need to add in the capital letter B before your ID or passport number. And at the end of your ID or passport number, you have to include an exclamation mark. So you can use this to access your Outlook email that you get through Boston, as well as the Microsoft Office suite, which is Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Excel. You do not need the Invigilator app at Boston Media House. You also have access to the Boston Student Portal, where later in the year when results are released, you will also be able to access your results on the Boston Student Portal. So I'll give you just 2 seconds just to quickly note that Cole Campus login information, as well as the login information for your Microsoft Office suite. Okay, so that was some general information. Now, let's pretend that we have already logged on to Cole Campus. And a lot of students, whilst they are completing their assignments now, forget where they can find the assignment briefs. So once you've logged onto Cole Campus, you go onto your dashboard and you choose a subject. So for this example, I've chosen academic literacy. And then you get to your home page. And on your home page, you'll see there is home, announcements, assignments, discussions, and modules. Now, the assignment briefs or the test briefs are under modules. And if you look there on the right-hand side, you'll see there on the to-do, it actually reminds you that you have a formative assessment due for academic literacy that counts 100 marks by the 1st of April. So you'll see this for each of your subjects as well, a little to-do list. So if you're looking for your briefs, you go to the subject, you go to modules. When you get to modules, you'll see all your normal information loaded there, such as the subject outline, and then you'll see something called the assessment briefs, as we can see there. ACALIT 2022 Formative 1 brief. If we then click on that, you will then find your brief. Just as a reminder to those of you who don't remember where to find your briefs. So now that we have our briefs, we have completed our assignments, or we've studied for our test, how do we actually complete assessments on Cole Campus? So let's pretend we have a test that we need to write on Cole Campus. What you will then do on your subjects page, you will go to quizzes. So you will click on quizzes, and then you will see there are quizzes listed there under assignment quizzes. Then you would click on the one, and usually there will only be one displaying right now that you would have to complete. Once you click on that quiz, it will say to you when it is due, how many points is it out of, how many questions are there, so when is it available, and what is the time limit. Now, don't get excited here because you see that it says time limit none. Most, indeed, if not all of the tests that is written on Cole Campus has a time limit. And unfortunately, if you see there underneath allowed attempts, your attempts on Cole Campus are usually limited to only 1 attempt. And as soon as you press that blue button that says take the quiz, the timer to the quiz will start. So if they've given you an hour for the test, the timer will immediately start. If they've given you 2 hours for the test, it will immediately start. And once the timer runs out, your test will automatically submit itself, even if you did not submit it. So be very careful. Before you click take the quiz, make sure you take a note, how long do I have to write this test? And to when can I write this test? So if you click the Take the Quiz button, it will show you there, as you can see, time elapsed, when is the attempt due, and how much time is left. So Cold Campus automatically saves your quiz as you go through it. So as you answer each question, Cold Campus will save the test. And when you are finished with the test, you can submit your quiz. And in some cases, you are able to immediately see your results for the test if your account is not in arrears, or in other cases, such as for these formative ones, you will only be able to see your test results after all results have been released, which will probably be just after the Easter weekend. Now, that is how you do a test on Cold Campus. For an assignment, you go again to the subject's homepage, and then you click on Assignments. Then you look at upcoming assignments and you click on the correct assignment. And once again, in all probability for the formative ones, there will only be one assignment that is shown. It will say the formative one assignment is available until the 1st of April. So then you can just click on that. When you then click on that, you have the opportunity to submit an assignment. So then you will see a blue button that says Submit Assignment. You then click on that blue button. When you click on the blue button, it will say to you, do you want to upload a file? So most of the assessments on Cold Campus is file upload. So in other words, you need to make sure that your assignment is saved on the desktop or on your computer or on your stick as in Word or PDF. I always tell students it's better to save your assignment as one document, as a PDF document. That makes it easier for marking and to make sure that no file attachments goes missing. But once you click that blue button, Submit the Assignment, you then have to choose your file, and then it will give you options from your drives on your computer. If you want to, you can add another file if you're requested to do so. So you can submit 2 or 3 parts to your assignment, although it is not advisable. Once again, it is better to submit your assignment as one document. Once you have uploaded your file, you can then press that blue button, Submit Assignment. Then, once you have done that, there will come a little blue button that is a receipt. So it says there on your right-hand, submission, turned in. When did you turn it in? Submission details. What was your file name? Take a screenshot of this. This is your proof that you have indeed submitted your assessment correctly. You are able to resubmit your assignment before the closing date and time of 1 April 23:59. So if, for example, you've uploaded your file on Monday and on Wednesday you see, no, actually I made a mistake, I want to fix that, you can go quickly and fix it, and then you can resubmit your assignment. Same process like I just explained, but it has to happen before the 1st of April. Important. Once you've resubmitted your assignment, your original file submission disappears. Then, after the closing of submissions on the 1st of April, your lecturers will start to mark your assessments from the 2nd of April. And then here from the 15th of April, we will be releasing the results of the assessments. Now, the results for your assessments will be available on Cold Campus, so you'll be able to see your mark, as well as the feedback to your assessments. Important, if your account is in arrears, you will not be able to see your mark for the assignment, nor will you be able to see the feedback for your assignments. If you qualify for a supplementary, which we'll talk about right after, because you got 30% or more, you will be notified even if your account is in arrears via SMS communication. Then once the results are released, you then are allowed to appeal for your results, which will go through closer to the time. So let's say that you weren't able to submit your assignment next week because you fell ill or because there was death in the family. or because you have achieved a low mark. How does it work? So you can only qualify for a supplementary on one of two conditions. Firstly, is if you have completed the original formative one and you obtained a minimum mark of 30%. Any student with 30% and above is allowed to participate in the formative one supplementary event. You do not have to apply for the sub as you automatically qualify. So any student who gets 30% and above for their formative one automatically qualifies for the formative one supplementary. Unfortunately, you need to pay for this supplementary, which we'll talk about now. The second criteria to complete a supplementary is if you could not participate in the original assessment event due to a legitimate reason. For example, illness or death in the family. Now, legitimate evidence must accompany the request for a supplementary. Please note that when we take a look at medical notes, we do prescribe to the same criteria as is followed in the labor law. So in other words, it needs to be a doctor that is registered with the Health Practitioners Council of South Africa. The same with traditional healers, they also have to be registered with a council. Also, a doctor's note where the doctor just says the doctor was informed that the student was sick is not acceptable. So how do you apply for a supplementary? You need to email myself. There's my email address. And in the subject line, it must state the student number, the surname, the name, the subject code, assessment, and campus. So there we can see 150-1200 Smith Cole, Radio 2, Rad 2, F1 Santon. Then we say, I would like to apply for a formative one sub due to being ill. And then you would attach your doctor's note. Your sub request have to be submitted within 48 hours, 2 days of the missed assessment. So that means that by Monday, 4 April, all sub requests have to be received for the formative one subs if you were absent from the original submissions. So I repeat, if you miss an assessment next week due to illness, due to death in the family, or another legitimate reason with legitimate evidence, you have till Monday, 4 April, to apply for a sub. After 4 April, the window closes to apply for formative one subs, and you will not be granted a supplementary. Now, once you have been granted a supplementary, because you achieved a low mark, you will have to pay for your supplementary. And a formative supplementary fee is 250 Rand. If you are granted a sub due to a legitimate reason, such as illness or death, you do not have to pay for the sub. So you only pay for the sub if you qualified for the sub with an average of 30% and above. Very important, you only have one chance to write the supplementary. There is no additional sub on a sub. There's only one sub period and there's only one sub on a sub. And your supplementary has to be completed in the semester of you completing your formative assessments. So the supplementaries for these assessments will be from 16 to 20 May. That's when this supplementary period is. Okay. Any questions? I know there was somebody who had a question. So let me just stop share here. Okay. Ma'am, how the assignments work? Because they say 50% then sub. Okay, Koketso, did I answer your question now? So if you have 30%, you actually did not pass your assessment. So if you would like the opportunity to pass your assessment, your formative one, then you can complete the formative one supplementary if you got 30% and above. Then if you get 55% for the formative one sub, then we will ignore that low mark of 30% you got for the formative, and then we will use the formative one sub mark of 55% in the final calculation of your mark. Okay. Thank you. Right. There was somebody who had their hand up. Let me just see if I recognize the name again. Marcus, did you want to ask a question?
No, it was a mistake on my side. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Okay. Right, here's another one. Okay. Q and A. Ma'am, what percentage do I need to pass the F1? You need 50% to pass your formative ones. That's how much you need to pass, except for computers, where you need 75% to pass. Why is PDF preferred over Word submissions? Because with PDF, it does not move the spacing. A lot of the time with Word submissions, it is very easy that your spacings can be moved. Okay. Anything else? Okay, Pumzile, I'll quickly just unmute you. Yes, Pumzile? You have your hand raised?
Yes. And what
Yes.
maybe you pass all your subjects and fail one subject. Maybe you pass everything, then fail digital marketing and so.
Yeah.
Do you have to repeat the whole thing?
You would have to repeat digital marketing 1, but you can proceed to the second year. So then you can go on with your other subjects.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay. Another question. So there's no set date to submit formative 1 assessments. They all need to be in by the 1st of April midnight. Yes, that's correct, Oratile. You have time from this Saturday, 26 March to 1 April. But do not try to submit all your assignments on Friday afternoon. You're going to struggle. My advice is, as you complete your assignments, to upload it. Because if you can't get it uploaded by midnight, remember what I said, you will not be granted a sub. Okay. Okay, anybody else? You can put up your hand. Oh, Koketso. Koketso.
Yes, ma'am.
You have your hand up.
Yes, I wanted to ask, where can you access the Harvard referencing method?
Okay, so the Harvard referencing, are you a Santon student?
No.
Okay, do you have a general information tab on your Cole campus?
No, because I've been trying to look for it. I'm not finding it.
Do you not have general information as on your dashboard?
I do.
Did you check there under announcements?
Yes.
And it's not there?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what you can do is you can email me. Let me just go to the chat function so I can put you my email address and then I can send you the thing. So if you can't find the Harvard referencing guide, you can just email me. My email address is karik@boston.co.za, and then I will email it back to you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Thank
Your
you.
academic literacy textbook should also help.
Okay,
with
ma'am.
that. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. Ma'am, can you immediately see your plagiarism percentage after submitting? No, you cannot see your plagiarism percentage after submitting because Cole Campus is not like Turnitin where it shows you your plagiarism indicator. Cole Campus is merely just a learner management system. So it's just taking your assignment in. It does not have a plagiarism indicator. I know some of the websites, free websites, does have plagiarism indicators. So Grammarly which in any case is a good website to use as a student to check your spelling and your grammar. Grammarly can also check plagiarism, and Quillbot is also a good site to check your plagiarism. Okay, ma'am, my laptop crashed. So can I use the school laptops? You cannot use the school laptops, but you can use the school computers. Yes, you can. You can come and you can always use the school computers in the computer lab or in the library. Thank you for that question. Even if your computer crashed, we do have the facilities available. It will not be taken as a legitimate reason to be granted a supplementary. Okay, any other questions? You can either put up your hand, but you have a question. How can I help you? Mbata? Mbata, you have your hand up? Do you have a question? Okay. Right. Right, Bumzile?
Ma'am,
Yes.
is it still plagiarism when you take maybe something from the website, then try to change it, put it in your own words, then still reference the source?
Yeah. So what you're doing there is called paraphrasing, right? So you are allowed to do that, but you still have to include your in-text referencing for it. So in other words, just after the sentence that you've taken from the website and you've put in your own words, you still need to include the in-text reference to say who was the author and what is the date. Then it won't be seen as plagiarism.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, Mbata? Mbata, we can't hear you. So if you don't mind, just type in your question in the chat function or in the Q and A, then I'm able to help you. Okay, here we go. Right, let's see here. Okay. When we write assignments like digital marketing, where we have to take an online test of called campus, do we have to reference as we go? Is plagiarism going to be taken into consideration? If it's an assignment, then yes, you always have to reference and always look at the evidence requirement of your assignment brief. You always have to reference at any academic institution. If it is a test, then usually they don't require from you to reference, but it also depends on what is the test. Is it a case study question where they're asking you to do research, where they're saying to you, you must give answers, cite, they use the word cite, then yes, you have to use in-text referencing, but not for what is the definition of marketing. Give me an answer in 2 minutes, then you don't have to reference. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, guys, if that is it, then we give it 1 minute and then we're done. Okay, we have a message. Ma'am, how do you upload audio for radio? Tato, it should go onto SoundCloud, if I'm not mistaken, for radio. Should it not be saved onto SoundCloud? And then you put the link for SoundCloud on your assignment that you upload. Okay, anybody else? Okay, guys, if that's it, thank you so much for joining me. Good luck with your formative assessments. Bumzili has another question. Oh, sorry. Let me just go back to Bumzili. No, okay. Do we have to use the school's equipment to shoot our television assignments? No, you do not have to use the school's equipment, Uratile, to shoot your TV assignments. You can use any equipment. I have taken 2 tests from my computer Excel. I wasn't sure which test come first. Mbata, it doesn't matter, but usually you complete your computers as Windows, Word in the first semester, and then Excel and PowerPoint in the second semester. So it's always your formatives, then summatives. So formatives comes first and then summatives. Yes, I remember the email yesterday, Mbata, about the sub. You should write the summative. You should have a formative and you should have a summative mark. Ma'am, how do I hire or borrow the school's camera for my photography F1? You go to the equipment manager for your campus. So you didn't tell me which campus you're from. From at Sandton, it is Amy. She's our equipment manager. Then you fill in a Sandton. Okay, great. So then it's Amy there in the basement by the TV studio. You fill in a form or you can send her an email to book the camera. So you can just go and have a look there in the basement where you collected your textbooks. That's the same place you're also going to book your cameras or any other video equipment you need at Sandton. Okay. Pleasure. Okay, anybody else? Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, don't leave your assignments till lastminute.com. I have a question. I have a question with regards to academic literacy. Question 1. Globalization. How do we cite 2 examples of Africa? Mr. Live, you're not telling me what examples. Are you looking for examples of how globalization is evident in Africa? Are you looking for examples from African literature? Are you looking for examples from South African literature? I can think you need to do some research. So what's the biggest example of globalization in Africa? What about McDonald's? So lines will be open for submission from tomorrow. What time? What do you mean lines, Mbata? What lines? I don't understand. Like students will be able to submit from tomorrow. Students will be able to submit from midnight tomorrow night. From midnight. Because then it's March 26th. Okay. And it's not lines, it's Cole campus. So from March 26th, tomorrow night from midnight, you are able to submit on Cole campus till next week, Friday, a minute before midnight. But don't leave it till late because you're going to have problems. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for coming. If you have nothing further, you can drop off. Question. Hi, ma'am. Can you please help me? Help you with what, Dimikatso? What do you want help with? Either type it in the Q and A or in the chat function. With understanding the timetables. Are you a Sandton student? If you, okay, so while she's writing, so the timetables work as follow. You know that there is a schedule on the Boston Media House website because we are working on rotation for first and second year subjects. If you are graphics, animation, or final year students, all of your classes are on campus, contact each week. First and second year students rotate. So currently this week, contact classes are offered for second year subjects, final year subjects, graphics and animation subjects. This timetable was posted on Cole campus under Santon General Information. Next week, first year students will be contact on campus with final year students, graphics and animation. This timetable will also be posted on Cole campus under Santon General Information. You will also receive, for the week that you need to attend contact classes, you will also receive SMS communication to remind you to come for the contact class on campus. The week that you do not have a contact class, you will have a virtual class. And for the virtual class information, you need to go onto the subjects page on Cole campus, and there will either be a Zoom link or a Zoom schedule or a pre-recorded class for you, as well as presentations and notes that you need to work through. So 1 week, it's contact-based on campus. The other week, it is a virtual class. Right, with some questions here. Let me just quickly get back to it. So is a student allowed to send their lectures, their work before submitting it online just for proofreading? No, you cannot send your work to your lecturer for proofreading. It does not work that way. They do not get paid to do that. If you have a specific question you want to ask your lecturer, like, should you do this or that, they can answer it. But remember, you have had all this time in the class to ask your lecturers questions. So your lecturers does not get paid to proofread. In university or colleges, that is certain people's jobs that get paid to do that. But it's also part of you learning how to write. Ma'am, did you record this video? Yes, I have recorded this video, and I will send you the link later today as soon as I've uploaded it on YouTube. So you're more than welcome to rewatch this video for anything important. No, your lecturers will not check for plagiarism beforehand. Plagiarism, you know when you are guilty of plagiarism, because you are not taking the information and making it your own. You can use websites such as Grammarly or Coolbot to also help you to check for plagiarism. I'm an Acadia of second and third year subjects. I receive both timetable schedules. That's correct. But I don't know how to follow them. I don't know when I'm supposed to be in class or online, and some of it shows that, yes, that's right. Okay, so firstly, not all subjects have WhatsApp groups. It's up to each lecturer to decide whether they want to have a WhatsApp group. So if you have second and third year subjects, you will come to campus every week, because third year subjects have class every single week. But your second year subjects will only have class every second week. So for example, Dimakatsu, this week you should have on campus your second and your third year subjects. They should be contact-based. Next week, when you come to campus, you will only be going for your third year subjects. Your second year subjects will be virtual. So for that, you need to go onto the second year subjects page and check for your virtual lectures information, either the Zoom link or the pre-recorded class that you need to do. And I would advise you to go and see Jackie Dimakatsu in Arcadia to say that you're not receiving information on when to attend your classes. Regarding the computer subjects, where can we get help if we have difficulties? So I've also recorded a video for the computer subjects. If you did not get a link to that video, you can email me and I'll send it. But if you need specific help with computers, at each campus, there is a person who works in the computer lab. You can go to them and they will also be able to assist you. At the Santon campus, we have Sissy who can help you. And in Pretoria campus, we have John who can help you. Okay. Some questions that came up here. Your cover pages, you download the cover page. You can either retype your cover page and then you can complete the rest of your assignment after that, or you can take a screenshot of your cover page and put it in your first page. Some bottom advice is that you go and play around to familiarize yourself with Word. So the great thing about Word is it has a lot of tools. So if you ask them, how do I insert one document into another, it shows you how to do that. The important thing is if you can't get it right to insert your cover page, rather just retype your cover page. Ma'am, on the schedule, does the group numbers really matter? Because I saw last week we were few in group 1 for radios, other went to group 3. Does it really matter what group you attend or it doesn't? The reality is the reason why the groups matter is because of seats. That's the only reason why. You saw for yourself. And because of COVID-19 regulations. That is why the group numbers are important. That's the only reason why. Okay. Bumzile, you have a question.
In terms of cover page, can you in terms of cover page, in signature part, can you maybe put your initials instead of signature?
Yes. Yeah, write out your full name. Don't just write your initials. So I would write out my full name if you're not able to do electronic signature. Write out your full name. Type it out. Okay. Does that make sense, Pumzile?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Here's another question. For the formative 1 assignment, is there a cover page or do we create our own? And can my initials be regarded as my signature or do I have to find a way to sign and attach on the cover page? Okay. So it depends on your assignments requirements. Some assignments do have a cover page that you need to use. You need to go look at your assignment brief. And if you're unable to insert electronic signature, you can type out your full name, like I just said, in the place of giving your signature on the cover page. Okay. Okay, guys, is that it? If I need to do a countdown, going once, going twice. Okay, all, good luck with your assignments. See you again. Bye. Yes, if your question is in table format, you need to answer in table format when answering. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you.
Bye, pleasure, dear. Do you have to write questions and answers? No, you don't have to. Yes, just remember your plagiarism declaration. You only need to write the answers to question. Where can we find this video for later? But I will send you a link to the video and you will also see it under general announcements. I'll also put the link there under sent and general information announcements. I'll do that after this.
Ma'am,
Yes?
in terms of bibliography, does it have to be alphabetical? Because I heard someone talking about alphabetical.
What, your reference list?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. It's general academic practice. It always has to be alphabetical via the author's surnames. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay.